students. Today we are going to learn about the symbols of the United States of America. It's important to know the symbols of the United States of America because you might see a symbol in the future, or maybe you've already seen one, and it's important to know the history behind it. Definition of a symbol of the United States is something that something that means something special to our country. So something that represents our country in a special way. Not everything is going to be a symbol of America, right? Like a pizza, right? Is that going to be a symbol of America? I don't think so, right? It's going to be something that has meaning to it. And we're going to go over some of these vocabulary words. And I'm going to say the word and you're going to say the word back with me, okay? We're going to practice our reading a little bit. Symbol.
Symbol.
Something that stands for something else.
Something that stands for something else.
Very good. And that's a previous vocabulary word that we've had in our lesson, right? So some of these are going to be repetition, but it's good so we can remember what they mean. Memorial.
Memorial.
Something built in memory of a person or place.
Something built in memory of a person or a place.
Freedom.
Freedom.
To be free.
To be free.
Courage.
Courage.
To do something that scares you.
To do something that scares you.
President.
President.
The leader of our country.
The leader of our country.
Independence.
Independent.
Freedom from control of something or someone.
Freedom from control of something or someone.
Liberty.
Liberty.
People are free to do what they want, where they go, what they eat or speak.
People are free to do what they do, where they go, what they eat or speak.
United States of America
United States of America
is our country,
Mhm.
right? So that one is a good review. And later we're going to write some of these vocabulary words down in our book, and we're going to draw a picture and as well as write the definition so we can continue to practice them and we can have them in our journal. So today we're going to learn specifically what a symbol of the United States means, what it represents, and what are some of those symbols in our country right now, right? I'm going to show you symbols, specific symbols. And we went over our vocabulary. I have this picture. What is this picture? Does anybody know, or you want to share something from this picture just by looking at it? Something maybe that you know?
I know the American flag,
Mm-hmm.
the Statue of Liberty,
Mm-hmm.
the bald eagle.
Very good. The bald eagle was reviewed from our last one. What's important about the bald eagle? Do we remember?
That it is a symbol of the country.
It is a symbol of our country. Very good. So these are all symbols of our country, and we are going to look more specifically into them in our next slides. And we're going to specifically look at pictures that represent our country, pictures that maybe don't represent our country, but we're going to figure it out together. And then some mixed pictures to see if you can find which ones represent our country and which ones don't. This is the first one. Do you know what this picture is?
It's a picture of a bald eagle.
This is the bald eagle. It is an American symbol because it is courageous, brave, and it was chosen as our national bird. So what makes it our symbol? What makes it one of the reasons that it represents the United States?
It is courageous, brave, and was chosen as our national bird.
So it's courageous and brave. Courageous is part of our vocabulary, courage. So that means it's courageous because it does things that maybe might be scary, but he is courageous to do them. Something that also represents our country. Our country is very courageous. We are brave. Do you know this next picture?
It is the Statue of Liberty.
Very good. The Statue of Liberty. And it is also an American symbol because it was a gift of friendship from people of France. And it represents freedom in America. So you might have not known that, right? That this was a gift, actually. So it was a gift of friendship. Like when you give your friend a gift because they are your friend, they did something nice. If you give a friend a gift, does that mean that you're mad at them?
No.
It means that you have a bond, right? That it brings you together. So this gift brought France and America together. France is another country. America is our country. And it represents freedom, which is one of our vocabulary words. And what does that mean?
To be free.
To be free. Very good. So two specific things to look for when we're thinking about American symbols. Does it represent freedom? Does it represent courage? Right? So we can look for that when we're looking for examples on our own. Do we know what this one? And it's okay if you don't know it.
It is the Liberty Bell.
The Liberty Bell, very good. And this is also an American symbol because it represents America's independence and liberty. The Liberty Bell rang to announce the independence of the United States from Great Britain. So it represents independence, another one of our vocabulary words, and liberty, which is also there. And it was rang when we announced our independence, meaning we had freedom from control of Great Britain, which is another country that had control over us. So we gained freedom. We no longer were under their control. We were free. And they rang that bell when we became free because you think they were happy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like a symbol of happiness. We are free now. So another good thing to look for. Does it represent independence or liberty? That could be a reason why something is an American symbol. What about this one? This one I'm going to tell you because maybe a lot of you have not seen this, but this is the Washington Monument. Does anybody know Washington? What is Washington? What does that remind you of when I say Washington?
It reminds me of the town.
The state,
Mm-hmm.
Washington. Yeah, Washington D.C., the state. It is also the name of one of our presidents, George Washington, our first president, actually. It is an American symbol because it represents our first president, George Washington. He brought us independence and established our country. And little fun fact, this is also the world's largest structure made from stone. So it's the largest one in the world. So if you ever go to visit this statue, well, it's a monument, right? It's not a statue, but it is huge. You will see how beautiful it is. And it has, what does it have around it?
The United States flag.
The United States of America's flag. Yeah, so it has our flag. That's very important. So this represents our country because it represents George Washington, which was our first president, who also was the commander-in-chief of our military. Very good. What about this one?
It is Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. Very good. Has anyone ever been here?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it looks very beautiful, actually. So these are some of our important founding fathers. And they actually carved their faces on a mountain. How cool is that? Imagine your face was carved on a mountain. You'd have to be pretty important and do some pretty important things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. So let's see what they did. It contains the faces of our presidents, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. All of these presidents share responsibility for our freedom. So they all were a part of bringing freedom to the United States of America. Another key word, freedom. A lot of these symbols, what do they represent?
To be free.
To be free, to have freedom. Very good. That's going to help you when you're looking for your own examples in a little bit when we split up in our activities. Now I'm going to share some other pictures and you're going to tell me what they are. And do you think that they're an American symbol? You can tell me, okay? What is this?
It is a purse.
It is a purse. Is it an American symbol?
No.
Very good. It is not an American symbol because it does not represent independence or freedom or courage, right? Does it have true meaning for our country? It might have true meaning to the person that owns a purse, right? Because you love the purse.
Mm-hmm.
But does it mean something for our country,
No.
everyone? Exactly. This is not an American symbol. What is this, first of all?
It is a tiger.
A tiger. Some of us might love tigers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is a special animal, very special. But it does not have a special meaning or representation of America. Even though it does live in the United States, we can find tigers here, right?
Mhm.
But that doesn't mean that it places a great importance on our country or it brought us something or represents something like freedom or courage. Although I do think tigers are courageous,
Mhm.
right? I do think so. But they chose our national bird as the
Symbol.
symbol, which what is our national bird?
The bald eagle.
The bald eagle. Very good. This is a what?
A car.
A car. Is it an American symbol?
Mm-mm.
No, it's not an American symbol because it does not represent something meaningful for our country. Does it represent freedom? It might cause you to feel free because you're driving off, right? And you feel like you have the freedom. But it doesn't necessarily represent freedom for our country or in our history. This is, does anybody know what this is?
Mm-mm.
It's a statue, just a statue. You might see statues when you go to churches or maybe important places. People like to put statues. Maybe some people have them in front of their houses. You might see little statues, right? So this is just an ordinary statue. It is not an American symbol because it was not built as a representation of American history, like the monument that we saw, or Mount Rushmore that was built in memory of our presidents. She's not a president, right? She's not a memorial person that we want to remember, although she might be very important to someone. That doesn't mean that she's not important. It just means that it's not a symbol for our country. Let's see. How about this? Do you know what this is?
It is a building.
It is. It's a building. Does it look like just an ordinary building?
Yes.
Or something special?
I think it's just an ordinary building.
An ordinary building, maybe where people live, apartments maybe. It is not an American symbol because it is not unique or has meaning to our country. It doesn't represent freedom or independence or give us liberty. Very good. Here is a bike. This is an example. Is this an example of an American symbol?
No.
It's not, because it does not represent something
freedom or meaningful.
Meaningful. It is not meaningful for our country. It doesn't represent freedom. It's just an ordinary bike, right? It's important to ride a bike, and a lot of us like to ride bikes here, right? Who has a bike at home? Yeah, I think so, huh? A lot of us have it, but it doesn't represent our country, the United States. Is this an American symbol? It's not an American symbol. What does this remind you of, though, when you see this?
School.
Of school, right? So this is something that can be a symbol for
school.
For school, very good. So you're getting the concept. This can be a symbol for school, very good. It is not an American symbol because it does not have representation of freedom or was part of our history. It is part of our school, right? We need buses to get to school, very good. So it does place importance there. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it represents our country. It's a symbol of the United States. What about this one? This is the White House, for those that don't know. Is this an American symbol?
Yes.
Why do you think so?
Because all of our presidents have lived in many important meetings about our country and car there.
So all of our presidents have lived there. Very good. The White House is the place where all of our presidents have lived. So that has to be a pretty important place that represents our country, right? It's very important. And this is where a lot of our presidents have held important meetings about our country, making decisions. This is where it happened, in this house. And you can also visit the White House and take a walk there, in case you were wondering if you ever wanted to go there. You can definitely go and visit it. Is this an American symbol? No, it's not. It's a waterfall, just a regular waterfall. It does not represent freedom or was part of our history. It's just an ordinary waterfall. Is it beautiful?
Yes.
Definitely beautiful. I would definitely like to go see it, but it doesn't necessarily represent our country. What do we think? So this is the Bill of Rights. It's a document. Do we think this is an American symbol?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Because it is an important document that protects the rights of American citizens. In this document is where they wrote some of our freedom rights, right? Some of our liberty, to have liberty, independence. So this document is very important to our country, and it symbolizes the United States of America. So if you ever see this document, you definitely think the United States of America. All right, perfect. So those are our pictures for now. Now we're going to watch a video, but before we watch a video, I want to tell you what you're going to do today in your groups. So you're going to get in groups of 3, and you're going to write or look for 2 more examples of symbols of the United States. So what do symbols of the United States, what do they need to have? What do they represent?
It represents the freedom.
Freedom.
And it represents courage.
Courage, very good. Independence.
And meaningful.
It's meaningful to our country, right? It's meaningful to our country, something that's meaningful. So we're going to be on the lookout for something that's meaningful for our country. Very good. So I want you to look for 2 examples. You're going to draw a picture, or you can either print a picture if you don't want to draw, but you can print one as well. And then you're going to write a sentence why you think that is an important symbol for our country, okay? And then we're going to get together and we're going to share what we found. So we're going to watch this video first to tell us a little bit more about American symbols, and we're going to see some of our definitions in there as well, just to get us some practice, okay? Let me push play here.